Hi, welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is my very first Flosstube. I'll start off by introducing myself. My name is Allison. I live in the state of Nebraska with my husband and 2 children. I have a daughter who is 5 and my son is 2.5 years old. And I started my cross-stitching journey in October of 2020. My mom actually taught me how to cross-stitch probably when I was 10 or 12 years old. And I started like a little piece and I never finished it, never went back to it. And then 2020, we were all staying at home and I needed something crafty to do. I needed a crafty release. And I picked up cross stitching and I became hooked right away. And then I discovered Flosstube and I really went down the rabbit hole with cross stitching. And December of 2021, I started designing cross stitch. My design shop is called Cozy Cabin Stitching. I have a shop on Etsy. I will link it down below. And I've had so much fun discovering cross stitch, watching Flosstube, designing cross stitch. It's been such a fun time. I just wanted to hop on and join all the Flosstube fun. I will show you a little bit. I'll show you my last design that I just released. And this one I released right before Christmas. So it's obviously Christmas related. And it is called a penguin Christmas. And it comes with both designs are included in the pattern. And this one is called Trimming the Tree. Little penguins are getting ready for Christmas, decorating the Christmas tree. And this one is called Special Delivery. They have a special present delivery. So both these are included in the pattern. I made mine into small pin keep pillows, but you can make them into ornaments, do whatever you want. I always encourage, like, I love seeing people use their own floss, pick their own colors, pick your own fabric. Like, you don't have to go by the pattern. Do what you want to do. It's cross stitch. It should be what you enjoy and what you love. And so here are these. And then I had one other piece that was just recently released. This one was in the December issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I know this magazine is probably not in newsstands anymore, but I think you might be able to still find it around. If not, I know sometimes libraries have it. Or I will release this design probably fall of next year. I will release this one, and this one is called Merry Moosemas. And this one, I designed it. It's a moose in lederhosen. Every year in our city, we go to the American Society hosts Christmas in Germany. So we go there every year. So I thought, kind of honor that tradition and have a moose in lederhosen. Why not? I love stitching animals in clothing. Who doesn't? And so moose in lederhosen with his little birdie friends in the forest getting ready for Christmas. So there's that one. I'll try to hold it a little bit closer. Hopefully you're able to see these okay. First video, it's a learning curve, right? So there's that one. And again, this was in the Just Cross Stitch from December, and if you're not able to get it, I will be releasing this one fall of next year, kind of before Christmas time, so you have time to stitch it for the holidays. So there's that one. Now I'll get into some of the WIPs I've been working on recently, and WIP stands for Works in Progress. So the first one I have been working on that I will share with you is called The Dark Queen of the Earth by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And this one I have a digital pattern, so I'll show you the digital copy of the design that's out. It's a mystery stitch along for this year. I think it goes until the September of this year. So these are the parts that we have now, and that's where we're at. And I will show you my piece, and I have it here in this project bag, and I make most of my own project bags. I have kind of a limited cross-stitching budget, so most of my cross-stitching budget I do have goes towards like patterns, fabric, floss. So I try to make do with the notions, make my own stuff as I go along. So this is a project bag I made. It's made with Heather Ross fabric, and I think this is an art gallery fabric at the top. And it's kind of, that's a project bag. I thought it's kind of foresty. It goes with the Queen of the Earth. And here is my piece where I'm at so far. You'll see I am behind. I am not keeping up too well with the stitch along. Hopefully I'll get some more time and I'll get caught up. We'll see. I may never get caught up, but I'll keep stitching along with it. I'm really enjoying this one. It's lots of fun to stitch, lots of fun blocks of colors, and it's kind of fun just to see, each time a new clue comes out, it's kind of fun to see where it's coming. And this fabric is a 28 count Lugana that I coffee tea dyed myself. You can kind of see the modeling a little bit. I got some good modeling on this one. I was really pleased with how it turned out. There's that one. And another project I'm working on. This one is actually in a project bag that was gifted to me this Christmas for my mom. I kind of, with me getting back into cross stitching, I kind of got my mom back into cross stitching because she used to cross stitch a lot in the late 80s, early 90s. We got a lot of pieces. My grandma used to cross stitch too with her. And so I got her back into cross stitching, which is kind of fun. I have a cross stitching buddy. But this bag she made for me, and this is actually this panel is a piece of reclaimed embroidery. I say that because it used to be a long table runner, but it had a lot of holes in it, a lot of stains, and there's some edging that was frayed. And it was just initially, it was gonna get just thrown out. My mom's like, no, I'll do something with it. Like, my mom does a lot of sewing and quilting. She's very crafty. And so she made this really amazing project bag out of it for me. And it's really cool. I love it. It's very cool. And so this piece I'm working on is called Bohemian Bliss by Carolyn Manning Designs. And I have another of the Shooting Star collection started by her. Hopefully I'll be able to do maybe a WIP parade next week so you guys can, I have a lot of WIPs. I like to start things. Yeah, I know. Especially like watching Flosstube, you get a lot of ideas and a lot of like, ooh, I want to start that. But I have this one, and this piece, the Carolyn Manning, these Shooting Star pieces, this is to me is like pure comfort stitching. I use it, this is my travel piece because you don't have to, like, once you get it started, there's not a whole bunch of counting. You just gotta watch where you put your colors, and even then if you mess up, I think you'll probably still be okay. But I love, or even when I'm sick and I have trouble counting sometimes when I'm sick, this piece is great. Or if I'm like super, have a lot of stress in my life, a lot of anxiety, then love these pieces. Total comfort stitching. So I barely have a start on this one. I started this one right after Christmas. It's a sad start. It really is a sad start, but I picked this, I saw this one release and I just fell in love with the colors. Like, I know, it's like one little square. It's not much to look at. It's one little square. But I mean, look at these colors. They are gorgeous colors. Like, they're so rich and, oh, so pretty. Love those colors. And I'm stitching this on an 18 count fiddler's cloth. The other Carolyn Manning design I have that I started, I did on an 18 count fiddler's cloth. So I think just to be consistent, I'd like to stitch more of these too. She's got lots of pretty color combinations. I'd like to keep them all like the same size because I think it'd be fun to eventually like frame them all in square frames and have them hanging in a display on the wall. I think that would look really cool. So there's that one. That was Bohemian Bliss. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. My next one, I kind of started spur of the moment on the whim. This was my New Year's Eve start. I wasn't initially going to have a New Year's Eve start. Then I saw this on Instagram and I'm like, I've never tried that before. I want to try it. It is a Blackwork piece. I've never done Blackwork before. And I was like, oh, I think that'd be fun to try. So this one is, let me find the picture of it for you. This is also a mystery stitch along for this year. You do a little bit each week. A new clue comes out and you do a little piece each week, which I thought was very manageable to do just a little bit each week. This is the designer is called The Steady Thread, and you can find this pattern on their Facebook group. They have the pattern posted to their Facebook group. It is a free stitch along. And so she released, I think early or mid-December, she released all the frames. Like I said, I didn't find this piece until maybe a day before New Year's Eve. Here is what the frame looks like. And there's a couple different versions of this one. I'm gonna see if I can get it without my glare on there, if you can see it. Hopefully you can. Sorry, I'm so sorry about the glare. I'll have to work on that in my next video. But that is the frame for it. I have a little bit of a start in it. I figure each week when I work on it, I'll work on the frame little by little, and hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have a nice, beautiful stitched piece. But I think I'm having a lot of fun with this one so far. Here's what I have done so far. And this one is week one. Week one just came out on January 1st. So that one's week one. I'll see if I can. And this is all Blackwork, and that's what I have so far of the frame done. And this is stitched on 18 count white Aida. And it's a lot of fun, and I'm surprised how quickly Blackwork goes. Like, I think I stitched up the first clue in like just a couple of hours, and I got the first clue done, and these hexagons are going super fast. And I think it'll be pretty once I get to like to the leaf border around it. And so that'll finish in a square frame too. So there's that one. And again, that's by The Steady Thread, and you can find the pattern free on her Facebook group, and she's got lots of beautiful patterns out there. Go check her out. There's that. And then my next piece is one I think everyone's doing, and it's my first year to join along. It's the Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along for 2023, the Reaching Skyward. I've been watching the last few years, just eyeballing, like everyone was stitching it, and they're all the ones, and they're so beautiful. And so I'm like, this year I saw this one, this year's pattern release. I was like, oh, I gotta do that. I gotta join in this year. I don't want to feel left out. I'm joining this year. So if you haven't seen, here is the pattern, Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery. There it is. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's just, oh, all of Jacob's designs are beautiful. I love them. You want to stitch all the things, right? You want to stitch everything. It's hard. I think that's why I have so many starts. And I do my own, yeah, stitch all the things. You wish you had more time in the day. So this one I will show you. I'm stitching this one on a 36 count parchment, my WIPS Styleworks. That is my linen. And I have my own, I picked out my own floss for this one. I know, little start. Hopefully I'll get this one done by the end of January. We'll see. So there's my start on that one. And I will show you my threads. I'm doing kind of a range of blues in DMC. Hopefully that color comes out okay on the camera. Hopefully you're picking up those blue colors. I think I'll just I'll go where he has the light and the darks, but I think I'll kind of intersperse the 2 light blues and then the 2 darker blues throughout the piece. And here you can see it against my fabric here, like that. So I'm really excited to get more stitch on this one and see kind of how these blues play together. I'm excited. Like I said, I'll have to work on all of these more. Lots of stitching, lots of more to do. So my next, and this one was in a bag that I made myself out of, I think, French General fabric. And I didn't mention the quilt behind me. I've been a quilter for over 20 years. This is a pattern that came out, I think, I want to say 12 to 13 years ago, a while ago. I think it's Bunny Hill Designs. And this one's also out of all French General fabric, but a line that came out like 12 to 13 years ago. But I'm sure they have lines that'll come out that kind of have these same color combinations. I love the reds and the creams that they have go together, and the grays. They're so pretty. So there's that piece. The next piece is another stitch along. I join a lot of stitch alongs. I have a problem. I see people stitching things, and everyone's stitching is so beautiful, and you're just like, oh, I want to do that too. It's beautiful. So the next one is, I'll show you my bag first. Another one I made myself. This one is out of Tula Pink line work fabric. And that's the hard thing about fabrics. You see a fabric line you love, but fabrics, they come out, and once they're gone, they're gone. They don't often re-release fabrics very often, and I love, Tula Pink is one of my favorite fabric designers, and it's so pretty. So here's my bag for it. And this pattern, I will show you. This is the Owl Forest embroidery Alice in Wonderland style that happened a few years ago. I started this one a few years ago with it started, but then I had some issues with my fabric, and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with the fabric. It's just, it's on 40 count. It was my first time stitching on 40 count, but I think I have it figured out now. So, but here's what this finished piece of this one looks like. And this started off as a mystery stitch along. And then I'll show you where I'm at. So here's my Owl Forest embroidery, Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, I need to practice talking a bit, don't I? Here's where I'm at. So that is my start. That is like, I think, clue 1, and clue 2 is almost done. So I didn't get very far. Now this one is stitched on 40 count Woodland by Zweigart. So it's kind of this nice brown color. And I think my problem when I initially started stitching this is I didn't use magnification. Like, I had stitched on 36 count before I started this piece. I, just flew on 36 count, like, oh, this is great. And so I'm like, I want to try 40 count. And so then I got to this piece, and I was really struggling with it and having trouble. But for Christmas, I got some magnifiers. And so I've been kind of playing with those, stitching on 36 count. And this piece is one of my WIP Go calls for this month. And if you're not familiar with WIP Go is something that Jessie Marie does stuff. She has a YouTube channel, and she's also on Instagram. She does something called WIP Go, whereas you kind of make a bingo type board where you plug in 25 different WIPs that you have, or it could be the same WIP over a couple times. And then each month, 2 numbers are called, and those are the WIPs you work on for that month. So this month, this is one of my months that was called my Alice in Wonderland. So I'm excited to use my new magnifiers and see how they work with this. I'm really excited. And for this version, there was a color version of this one, and this is the, there's a version with all different colors. This is the one where I'm doing the version where there's only 3 colors. So here are my colors. It's like a red, a cream, and a brown. So I'm doing the 3 color version. And those are my colors on the fabric. So I can't wait to start stitching and see how it goes with my new magnifiers. I'm excited. This is the only WIP that I have on 40 count. As you can see, I've been kind of scared to go back to 40 count after this one. I love 36 count. I have so much fun with 36 count, but maybe after I try this with my new magnifiers, I'll be doing more 40 count. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe with my eyes, I'll stick to 36 count, but we'll see. I'm excited to try and see how it goes. So this is my call for this month. And my rule with my WIP Go is 5 days in the month I work on this project, whether it be a few stitches if I get time that day, or whether I work on it a couple hours in one day. It just kind of depends on when I get time. As long as I touch it for 5 days in that month, then I get to cross out on my WIP Go. So there's that one. And then my other call for WIP Go this month is another stitch along. This one I actually started after the whole thing was released. This one was, it's put out by Fox and Rabbit Designs. It is their 2020 mystery stitch along. And here's what it looks like finished. And this one is no longer available for free. If you're interested in getting this one, I'm pretty sure you can purchase it on their website. If you go to Fox and Rabbit's website, I think they have the whole pattern for sale now. But this was a stitch along, and it's my first Quaker kind of style design that I started, which is fun. And this one I don't have a very big start on it. This one, here it is. That is what I have started. Right there. I know, not a very impressive start. Not a very impressive start. Oh, and here's my bag for this one. This one is actually old. Well, not that old, but it's older Blackbird fabric. I know they recently like re-released some of these designs. I'm not sure if this one was in kind of the re-release that they did, but this one was, I think I bought, gosh, maybe like 12, 15 years ago now, a while ago. But I have a pretty nice fabric stash, and that was just still my stash. I'm not sure what this fabric, that might be from the same line or a different line. I'm not really sure what that one's from. I'll let you give you the information. So I am stitching this on 36 count agave linen, and that's by Zweigart, 36 count agave, and I am stitching it with just white. So hopefully that white will pop on that agave linen. So there's that one, and that one was a WIP call for this month, so that I'm hopefully planning to work on and get my 5 days for this month. I got a lot to stitch this month, don't I? And I'm sure there's going to be new things that come out. We'll have to see. And so now I will go to my stash acquisitions. And I didn't really buy anything, but it was Christmas, and so I think my family gets tired of me because all I ask for anymore for Christmas and my birthday is, can I get some cross-stitching stuff? They're like, oh, we gotta go find cross-stitching stuff. I think they get maybe a little tired of it. But my birthday is coming up. My birthday is January 15th, so it's coming up. And so I need a birthday start, right? Yeah, birthday start. And for Christmas, I asked for 2 different dimensions kits. And real quick, I'm gonna try to take out the picture for you so you don't get the glare. Oh, this one I might be a little bit harder. Okay, so this is the one that I got. You still get a little bit of a glare because the paper is kind of glossy, but there's that one. And this one is called Fall Fairy. And I've always seen this one. I was like, oh, I like that. And it's pretty much full coverage. Well, basically it's full coverage. I think part of the background is like half stitches. And I've never done like a full coverage piece or anything like this before. So I'm super excited to give this a try and get it started. I just think I love the movement of the leaves and her hair, and you can just kind of see that wind going. And this one also has beads on it too. So I think that'll be really pretty once you get the sparkle. And so this is one that I might start for my birthday. Then I also got another one that I asked for Christmas, another dimensions kit, because I've never done a dimensions kit before. So I was these are ones that you kind of see people stitching, you're like, oh, that's pretty. Like, I want to try it. I want to see what see what it's all about. So this is one that it's called Victorian Charm. And this one, I love that it's stitched on the dark blue fabric. I say that now until I start stitching. I'm like, oh, I don't like stitching on the dark fabric. But it's just, it's really, I love like how tall it is. It's just pretty. And it's at nighttime and you get those lights on in the house and the stars in the sky and the cute little black cat on the doorstep. And it's a pink house. It's a pink house. I mean, you gotta stitch a pink house. And it's a big, gotta stitch a big house too. I love it. It's so pretty. So I'm really excited to get that one started. I tell myself like I should pick one and just start one for my birthday, but maybe I'll start both. We'll see if I can have some self-control and only start one. And I didn't tell you the fabric, but the Fall Fairy, that one is stitched on, I think, a 14 count kind of gray Aida, but you're gonna pretty much cover up all the Aida with all your stitching. And then the Victorian Charm is stitched on a 16 count navy blue Aida. And everything's included in the kits when you get the kits, which is kind of fun too. You don't have to go, although it is fun going shopping for all the floss and fabric and threads and everything. That's always fun. Who doesn't need an excuse to go to the cross stitch store and buy more stuff? Yeah, I don't need that. So hopefully you've enjoyed my first floss tube. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. This is my first time, so I know it's a bit of a learning curve. Let me know. The main reason I'm doing this is to become more of a part of the Flosstube community, more a part of the stitching community, to get to know you and get to see what you guys are stitching and just feel like I'm a part of all of it. Not just stitching by myself at home, not really talking to too many people. Like I am on Instagram, and I will link my Instagram below. So you can talk to me on Instagram, shoot me a message, comment down below too. Like I want to get to know you guys. I want to hear about what you're stitching. It's fun being a stitcher. You have so much passion for stitching. And like my family, like I'll show my husband a piece that I'm stitching. I'm like, oh, look at this, look what I made, look what I made. And he's like, that's nice. Like they don't understand. And so to be with a community of people who have the same passion and who understand, it's just fun, it's magical. And the stitching community it's so cool. Like everyone here is so nice. It's fun talking to everyone. It's just, and I just want to become more of a part of that. And that was kind of my I don't really make New Year's resolutions, but my resolution for 2023 is to really jump in and become a part of the stitching community, become a face out there, so I get to know other fellow stitchers. So hi, get to know me. If you have any questions, put them down below. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast and you could understand everything I went through. I know I feel like I went kind of fast. My husband's downstairs watching the kids, so I'm trying to hurry up and go through things. Because I tried filming this video earlier today, but then my son woke up really early from a snap, and so I was like, yeah, this is not happening. So I waited till my husband got off work. He's like, oh, I'll take the kids. You got everything prepared and ready for it, so go ahead. I was like, okay, I'm jumping in there. So it's been great talking to you. Comment below because I really want to, start those conversations, get to know people. And hopefully I will shoot my WIP parade next week. I didn't want to start with that because I know it's WIP parade season. Everyone's watching WIP parades. And I have a lot of WIPs. So I was like, I don't want my first video. I don't know if I can do it for like over an hour, hour and a half. Like that's a long first video to do. But hopefully next week I can film that. Maybe I'll even film a finished parade from my finishes from 2022. I think I had over 25 finishes. A lot of those were my own designs because I released 14 of my own designs in 2022, and then I released, I think I have 2 freebies right now. I might have more coming. But also stay tuned because I will be releasing, I feel like sometimes I overdo it with myself. I have a long list of designs I want to release this year of things that I have planned and designed and ideas. I probably won't get to them all. I'm trying to get to as many as possible, but with 2 small kids, plus I want to do all my personal stitching, time constraints are hard. They are hard. So stay tuned. I will be releasing, probably should have a new design by the end of January, I would hope. By the end of January I should have one. And then I have a lot of secret stitching I've been doing too for my own designs. So a lot of fun. Bye.